Hey guys, welcome back. 10 brand new polls to run through in today's video, and I'm going to open up with the 4 South Carolina polls that have been released over this past day, and then get into a national poll and some other state-specific results. So starting off here, brand new polling out from Emerson, taking a look at this South Carolina primary, and in general, we've been seeing a positive trend from Joe Biden in these closing polls out of the state of South Carolina. In this instance, he's bringing in 41% in first place, followed by Bernie Sanders, who's in second at 25%. Then all of the other candidates find themselves below that 15 percentage point threshold, with Buttigieg and Steyer each at 11 percentage points respectively, Klobuchar at 6, Warren at 5, and Tulsi Gabbard at 2 points. The next South Carolina poll comes from Change Research, and we can actually compare it to the prior result, which was released just a couple of weeks ago in the middle portion of the month of February. Biden remaining in first place. He picks up 5 points from the prior result at 28%. Sanders picks up 1 point. He's in second place at 24%. And this is the most competitive of these South Carolina polls that I'm going to be touching on in this video, with Sanders 4 points down from Biden. Then you see Tom Steyer. He recedes back 4 points from the prior poll. He's sitting there at 16. Elizabeth Warren picks up 3 points to 12. Buttigieg loses 4 points down there to 11 percentage points. Then we have a South Carolina Monmouth poll, and this is percentage change from the prior Monmouth, South Carolina poll, which actually came back all the way in the later portion of the month of October. So quite a big time between when Monmouth last did a poll in South Carolina. Now we can see here, very positive sign for Joe Biden, leading the pack at 36% of support. He picks up 3 points from that October poll. Bernie Sanders picks up 4 points. He's in second place at 16. Tom Steyer picks up 11 points to 15. Warren loses 8 points, halves her support from the strength that she had back in October. She's there at 8 percentage points. Buttigieg picks up 3 to 6. Klobuchar picks up 2 points to 4%, and we can see Tulsi Gabbard staying there at 1%. And I forgot to mention the sample size. The first Emerson poll was 550 respondents. The Change Research poll was 543. The Monmouth poll was 454. And then this is the final South Carolina poll that I'm going to be touching on in this video, coming from Starboard, a sample size of 1,102. And this one's extremely positive for Joe Biden, where he's in first place, pretty much lapping the rest of the field here, where he's at 40% in first place. And then you have a close contest among the next individuals, with Steyer at 12, Bernie Sanders at 11, Elizabeth Warren at 9, along with Pete Buttigieg. And then you have Klobuchar at 6 and Tulsi Gabbard at just 2. So now moving over to the one national poll that I wanted to touch on here. This one coming from Fox News, and in comparison to their prior poll, which came out in the later portion of the month of January, about a month ago, very positive sign here for Bernie Sanders, where he leapfrogs past Joe Biden, picks up 8 points. Now he's in first place at 31%, 13 percentage points ahead of Biden, who recedes back 8 points. He's now at 18. Bloomberg picks up 6 points to 16. Buttigieg picks up 5 points to 12. Warren loses 4 points. She's down there at 10. Klobuchar picks up a couple of points to 5. And Tom Steyer loses 1 percentage point down to 2. And that Fox News poll was a sample size of 507 respondents. And now some state-specific polls for those Super Tuesday contests that are upcoming. We have Colorado and Virginia. These are polls coming from Data for Progress. The Colorado poll has a sample size of 471, with the Virginia poll sample size at 499. In both instances, very positive for Sanders, where in Virginia he's up at 28% in first place, followed by Biden at 19, Warren at 17, along with Michael Bloomberg, Buttigieg at 12, and Klobuchar at 5, while in Colorado, Sanders doing very well for himself in first place at 34%, followed by Warren at 20, Buttigieg and Bloomberg each at 14, Biden at 10, and Klobuchar at 6. And then we have another Colorado poll, this one coming from Magellan Strategies, a sample size of 500, and again, another very positive sign for Bernie Sanders, where he leads the pack at 27%, followed by Warren at 15, Buttigieg at 12, Bloomberg and Biden each at 11, and Klobuchar at 6. And then we have the gold standard of these Wisconsin Democratic primary polls, this one coming from Marquette, sample size of 464. And we can compare this one to the prior Marquette poll from Wisconsin, which was taken back on January 12th. And in this instance, Bernie Sanders, he gains 10 percentage points. He now vaults himself into first place at 29% of support. Bloomberg picks himself up 11 points. He's in second place now at 17, whereas Biden again takes a step back in another Marquette, Wisconsin poll, where he loses 8 points. Now he's down there at 15%. Buttigieg loses 2 points to 13. And then Klobuchar actually picks up 7 points, so a pretty positive sign for her where she's up there at 11, Wisconsin being the neighboring state to Minnesota, so maybe not a complete shock in that scenario. And then Warren, she takes another step back here, losing 5 points there at 9%. And then the last poll here comes from Our Progress. I don't have a sample size for this particular poll. It shows a relatively close race here in the state of Arkansas, which is one of those Super Tuesday states, with Sanders leading the pack at 19%, followed by Buttigieg at 18%, Biden at 17%, along with Bloomberg. So very close and competitive there among the top 4 options, with Elizabeth Warren at 12% and Amy Klobuchar at 6%. So those are the 10 new polls that have come out over this past day or so that I wanted to run through. And particularly with those South Carolina primary polls, a number of very positive signs for Joe Biden. He's looking more and more like he's going to pick up something in the way of a comfortable victory there in South Carolina. And really, it just depends on how many other individuals end up crossing that 15 percentage point threshold to see how those pledged delegates end up getting divvied up between those upper tier finishers. So we'll see how all that plays out. And of course, if you want my coverage and going over those results, then consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I hope to see you guys back here for my next video.